In the summer of 2008, as part of the continuing sponsorship of the English National Opera, Sky Arts went behind the scenes to film the work of 3 visual artists and their interpretation of 3 arias from the 2008-09 ENO season. Artist Sam Taylor-Wood chose one of the most moving moments in opera, Vesti la Guiba, or On with the Grease Paint, from the opera Pagliacci. The award-winning music video director Dougal Wilson, whose previous work includes videos for Coldplay and Bat for Lashes, chose to meet this fresh challenge by interpreting Largo al Factotum, or Here at Your Service to Do or Die, from The Barber of Seville. And finally, auteur filmmaker Werner Herzog, best known as the director of cinema masterpieces such as Aguirre, Wrath of God, Fitzcarraldo and Grizzly Man, approached his subject in a unique way, shooting amongst the Ethiopian Mercy tribe and using the music of the beautiful duet O Suave Fanciulla, or O You Vision of Beauty, from La Bohème. The strikingly different work celebrates 6 years of Sky Arts season sponsorship of ENO and both organisations' commitment to widening the appeal of opera. The short films, shot in high definition, were staged using specially commissioned music by the ENO Orchestra, conducted by their music director Edward Gardner, and featuring singers Mark Stone, Geraint Dodd, Mary Plazas and Peter Orty. Here, Sky Arts presents the thoughts of the filmmakers along with their finished films.
We're going to be running camera, so you know.
Before becoming an artist, Sam Taylor-Wood worked at the Royal Opera House as a dresser. With this new work, she returns to those operatic interests with a sensitive short film of Vesti la Guiba from the opera Pagliacci. Written and composed by Leon Cavallo, it recounts the tragedy of a jealous husband in a commedia dell'arte troupe.
Well, I was given 4 pieces of music to choose from, and Pagliacci was the perfect choice for me. I've just been working on a series of photographs that have clowns in them, so it immediately seemed like it was going to tie into the rest of my work and wasn't going to feel like a completely separate project outside of it. And also I've worked a lot with opera music and classical music, and because of my sort of related history to that world, I think this was just a perfect sort of marriage.
Vesti la Guiba, which translates as On with the Grease Paint, is the famous tenor aria which concludes the first act of the opera, when Canio discovers his wife's infidelity, but must nevertheless prepare for his performance as Pagliacci the clown, because the show must go on.
So, what do you want to do? Do you want to go for the take?
Why not?
Sam Taylor-Wood's film was shot at Bray Studios in Windsor. The opera tenor Geraint Dodd performed the aria live for the camera, whilst the ENO Orchestra's pre-recorded instrumental soundtrack was played back.
Them money, and you must make them laugh. Smile when the hero screws a leading lady. Love Mr. Paxson, and he
bitter aria, and as soon as you start playing with too much wah at the beginning of notes, it loses that sense of that sound. There's a line through it, but especially in the bass, cello bass, always keep it just a little bit buzzy at the beginning of notes.
I think it's fascinating, and I think it's an amazing way to broaden our publicity of what we do, and to use the sort of directors we're using, it shows great confidence in our product, and it's wonderful that actually we're showcasing our orchestra and the artists will be singing the roles with us rather than just using some recording that we or other people might have done in the past.
I'm a great believer in something like this where the power of the emotion and the performance is everything, then less is more. You don't really want to feel too much camera work or editing or anything like that. So I felt with this that the performance really was going to be sort of the piece, and the piece in itself having that sort of tearing out of the heart with that costume on. Just needed to have very sort of simple lighting and a sort of almost delicate approach to it, really. the story of Pagliacci is such a sort of heartbreaking and raw one. I felt that you needed to hear the voice and you needed to feel the passion and the emotion within every note that he sings. So to have had it pre-recorded and lip-synced, I think might have missed that in a way.
Funny faces and smile through the pain.
It's such a dramatic piece of music. It's got to be sung from the heart, and you've got to feel that passion. And the music is so passion. It's full of passion and full of drama. And to really get the piece over itself, you've got to feel that passion and drama. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
Just so that I know, how many times would you be comfortable doing a full sing-out so that I know?
Well, I'll do one now,
Yes.
and then if you want to do a rehearsal again after, well, I'll
Then
mark
we'll...
possibly 2-3 times at the
Let's
most.
say 3 at the most. I'd seen the Zeffirelli production of this, and it was incredible. So then when I heard the piece of music, it reminded me of how great that opera was, and it just fired off my imagination. So I knew it was something that I'd have to then do. It was almost annoying, actually. One thing I did notice was I did feel that there was a point where you were a bit too fixed on looking
Yeah.
there.
There are just certain points that I do have to pick him up.
It's fine, but as long as you move
see
from
it.
there and just balance it a bit, that's all.
Okay.
And then holding into the lens at the end is just great.
Yeah, it's good.
I think there's a broad spectrum of filmmakers doing this, so it will give different perspectives on ways of looking and hearing the music, which might then sort of encourage people to go and see it. I think people are often put off by opera because they feel they might not understand it, or they feel that it's too expensive and it's a big thing to go and do, but actually, it's no more expensive some seats than cinema tickets, and what you go to see, within this, you see sort of passion and great music, so I hope that comes across. This is a film I made for the English National Opera. It's Pagliacci, a short excerpt, and it is 3 minutes long, and it's, I feel, the most passionate, heartbreaking part of the opera, and probably one of the most powerful scenes in any opera I've seen.
Put on the costume and the grease paint and powder. They pays them money, and you must make them laugh. Smile when the hero screws a leading lady. Love, Mr. Baxter, and they will all applaud. Oh, what a laugh, all the sadness and sorrow. Pull funny faces and smile through the pain. Just
pop video director Dougal Wilson is used to working with artists such as Goldfrapp, The Streets and Dizzy Rascal. Here, though, a very fresh challenge was presented to him when he had to interpret and direct the famous aria Largo al Factotum from The Barber of Seville.
I've always been interested in doing some kind of music video format film for a piece of music which wasn't popular music. Well, not pop music as such, something classical or something operatic.
Turn over. Turning quiet, please, thank you. And action.
There's lots of time signature changes. There's lots of held notes in opera, the vocals. So your story, you find, is guided a lot more by the music, whereas in a music video you might find that you can impose a story onto the rhythm because the rhythm's pretty regular throughout the whole piece.
Largo al Factotum, or Here at Your Service to Do or Die by Rossini, is sung at the first entrance of the title character. The piece is often noted as one of the most difficult baritone arias to perform. On this version it's sung with great skill by baritone Mark Stone.
When I first heard the music I thought it sounded like quite a fun piece of music, and when I read the libretto translation, it just seemed to be a barber going on about how happy he was in his job. So I thought, okay, if it's going to be translated to English and there's going to be lots of barber references, it's going to be quite hard to not have any barber imagery in the visual story.
Wilson's comic narrative is done in the style of a 1920s Buster Keaton silent movie and has a peculiar story based around a barber being attacked by hair clippings.
Hold that, thank you.
I've always been interested in inanimate objects coming alive.
Action!
So I thought, I don't know where I came up with the idea of the hair coming alive from, but I think I was just sketching barbers and I drew a little pile of hair on the floor and I thought it'd be funny if that moved across the floor like an animal. The underdog in the barber's shop, he would be probably the most interesting protagonist maybe, and he is the only one that witnesses the hair being supernatural, and then it becomes all about his battle with the hair.
And turn around. Think about it again. And get him. Good. Okay, cut there, thank you.
Good. Can I see playback on that, please? Hopefully you'll watch it and notice what's happening in the music more, maybe. And notice that how fast he's singing and how interesting that is, or, you know, how expressive a slow part is. I don't know. That's what I had to notice when I broke the story down. So hopefully it'll make you listen to the music. The speed of the singing and the speed of the articulation of the words is really impressive. I'm Dougal Wilson, and you're about to see my interpretation in a short film / music video form of the piece Largo al Factotum from Rossini's The Barber of Seville. I hope you don't find it too stupid.
Bravo! La 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 la! Fortune singer me have a success! Bravo! La 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 la! Fortune has singled me out for success! Fortune has singled me out for success! La 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 la! Not a dull moment, life is all action, job satisfaction's what I enjoy. Lots of adventure, money and laughter, all I've been after since I was a boy. La 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 la. Brushes and brilliantine scissors and shaving cream, these are the precious tools of my trade. Brushes and brilliantine scissors and shaving cream, these are the precious tools of my trade. Part of my service for all inquirers, helping the ladies and their admirers, helping the ladies, la 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 la, and their admirers, la 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 la. What a life I lead, all so fulfilling, all so fulfilling. To be a barber, and I'm the best, yes, I'm the best. Everyone's after me, after my services, widows and virgins, pandies and urchins. Give me a kiss, girl, help me find this girl. Short back and sides, please. Find me a bride, please. Everyone's after me, after my services. Everyone's after me, after my services. Give me a kiss, girl, short back and sides, please. Find me a bride, please. Hey! Figaro. It's all too much, too many. You up, I'm busy. Do me a favor, please wait your turn. Please wait your turn. Please wait your turn. Do me a favor, do me a favor, do me a favor. Please wait your turn. Figaro, what now? Hey, Figaro! But how? Figaro come, Figaro go, Figaro come, Figaro go, Figaro yes, Figaro no, Figaro yes, Figaro no. You need a gigolo, trust no Figaro. You have a problem, I'm your man, I'm your man, I'm your man, I'm your man, I'm your man. Bravo Figaro, bravo bravissimo, bravo Figaro, bravo bravissimo. You have a problem, I have the answer. You cannot solve it, Figaro can. La 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 la. You have a problem, I have the answer. You cannot solve it, Figaro can. La 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 la. You have a problem, I have the answer. You cannot solve it, Figaro can. I solve your problems, I am your man. I solve your problems, I am your man. I solve your problems, I am your man. I am your man, I am your man. Figaro, 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 Figaro. I am your man.
Highly respected filmmaker, director and writer Werner Herzog chose to take his camera far away from the controlled environment of a studio and set up his shoot in Ethiopia with members of the Mercy tribe. Herzog's film is an intriguing piece inspired by the aria O Suave Fanciulla, or O You Vision of Beauty, from Puccini's La Bohème.
The tribal group is called the Mursi, and the Mursi live in the southernmost part of Ethiopia. It's not the highland Amharic people, it's right at the border with Kenya and the south of Sudan, where the three countries actually have a common border. This piece of music has to do with departure. Two young people, two lovers, declare their love and they have to separate and they will never see each other again. I saw very clearly that there should be always a young man, a young woman, and they would eventually separate and leave each other and disappear. It has to do with a mystery, what can go on between between a young man and a young woman, and the tragedy of parting from each other. So it's a very stylized, highly stylized moment that I chose.
The duet was sung by tenor Peter Orty and soprano Mary Plazas.
If taking people into the opera in the form of cinema, film, you know, if that works for people, then that's fantastic, because it might then encourage them to come into the operatic theatre.
As well as featuring a series of couples, Herzog filmed a group of armed Mersey tribesmen who sit and stare intently at the camera.
It was just obvious these men looked formidable, and there's a certain intensity in them, and in a way a certain menace in them. They're armed and they use their weapons. And by the way, every single one of them whom you see has killed at least one man in his life. You can tell by the kind of scarred tattoos on their shoulder. There's one thing which signifies he has killed a man.
All those who appeared in the film were paid for their involvement.
Although they relate to money in a way that they know the value of money, but they think we as white men have a machine and we fabricate the money. And it was also obvious that they had no clear idea of Africa. They don't know what Africa is. This is my film. It's based on a duet from La Bohème, the tragic parting of the young men and the young women who love each other, and they will never see each other again.
Oh, you vision of beauty, in the moonlight I see an angel sent me from above. At last I've found you, for till the morning.
I wonder.
Please allow me to escort you.
Thank you kindly, my lord.
You love me, say.
To find out more, go to skyarts.co.uk/opera shorts.